Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today for another CTC software webinar. Today we're going to show you a data wizard and some of the advantages it has to help speed your production and get things done quicker. As we go along here, if you have any questions, please type them into the question panel of your GoToWebinar panel there, and we will try to get to them during the broadcast, and if we don't, we will certainly leave time at the end. And as always, this webinar will be recorded to our YouTube channel, so you can view it later or share it with any of your colleagues. And if you are watching this on YouTube and you have questions, go ahead and ask them right there, and that will get forwarded to us, and we'll take care of those, respond to those as quickly as we can. So my name is Tony Crick. I'm the Civil Product Manager here at CTC Software. And as I said, we're talking about Data Wizard today, one of our very popular tools in our tool set. So with that, let's get started. So it's a tool that can be used in your design projects to help streamline your data management, automate your reporting processes, and it will help you efficiently analyze and present that data in a legend table and spreadsheets, which will enhance your accuracy and productivity in your Civil 3D. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the setup that is involved here, some of its usages, best practices, and some things you might want to know to help you get the most out of this essential tool. So it's part of the Sim project suite of tools. It's intended for the everyday Civil 3D user creating design and production drawings. It will currently work to the last 4 versions of Civil 3D back to version 2021. So today we're going to talk about some of the things you need to know to help you master Data Wizard for the efficiency within Civil 3D and how to use it to get some of your quantities and tables reported for your productivity. And then we're going to learn what it does, how to use it, and some of the best practices to help optimize your Civil 3D workflows. So as I said, it's part of the Sim project suite of tools intended for the everyday user. I guess we'll skip over that one because I think that's a repeat somehow. There we go. Data Wizard advantages. So we can create tables and legends with it, but it's more than just legends and tables. It will also help you with some of your quantities. So how it works is we define extraction and filtration objects that we can then execute to extract tables and Excel, and we can sort those tables to display orders as we see fit. And then the tables and legends can be done also via viewports within Paperspace, and we can also use Paperspace objects if we don't have everything in model space. And then, as I said, we can export it to Excel tables for tabulations and reporting. And then we can save time with templates. We can save those to templates, which we're going to show you today, and fully customizable, so we can get at just about anything in your drawing. And if things change, we can easily update those. So with that, let's get into the drawing and have a look at the Data Wizard. So here is a small little existing site right here. We're going to show you how to get at some of these things, trees, curb lengths, some of the area hatching, stuff like that we can get at. So it's right up here, as you may have seen from the PowerPoint. It has its own little thing. It consists of 3 things: the setup, We can pull from a template if we have one created. There are a couple ways to do that we'll get at in a second here. And then if things change, we don't need to recreate things. We can just hit and update that. We're not going to really get into those two today because the real power comes in the setup of the tables and pulling your templates. So as I click at it, it opens. Here's our form, our main form right here. Some of the things that are in here, we have our typical to any of our tools. If you've used our tools, same familiar interface as always. We have our options tab. We can get at here some help. Pretty much what we can get at here, we can also get at there. So within our options on this particular one, all it's going to do is remember the size and position of the main window. So however you feel comfortable, wherever you put it, when you close it, the next time it will open in that location. So if you're using multiple monitors and you put it on another monitor, as many of us do, it will pop up over there. So you saw I changed the size, and that's what it does. So then the help will take you right to our website where you can request any help that you might need, or ideas too. We like those. And then videos, which this will be a part of soon. This will direct you right to our YouTube channel. And then we can go to our support. Oh, the help, I'm wrong. That pulls up our user guide. So I'll just pop that open real quick. It's open to the data wizard right here. It remembers where you were the last time. So some of the things it does right here, you'll see what we talked about, setup table, loads previously saved templates, and then updates. And then the support, that's where we get at support if you have questions and or ideas. So go there. So some of the things we can do, we can load templates right from here, which I will do here shortly. And then we have selections of where we can get our data from. So the current drawing, an external reference drawing, if we had that, we could grab that here. If it was in the drawing, we could click that to get at the XREF. Then when we create our tables, we want to limit it to a layout that's here. And we can also pull data from additional drawings if we have those. We're not going to get into those today. And then at any time as we go through here, we can save our template. So that's always there. So I'm going to go ahead and back up here, and I'm going to start with loading a template for a curb length. So if this is something you do on a regular basis, we can create these, and then to save those, you will probably want to put those. I have those in a demo folder today. You probably want to put those in some central location where you and your whole team can get at them and share them. So if you're pulling lengths of curb, for instance, for this one, we can pull lengths for anything. We can get counts. You would want to do that right there. I'm going to load it. And what it does is it pre-populates everything right away. So I don't know if you noticed before when we went to this page, some things were already selected here. But what it's doing for this particular one is it's going to measure the survey figures. So it comes ready to go right there. So if I hit the refresh button right here, it tells me what it's finding. It's finding survey figures. It's finding 199 total survey figures in there. And you might notice right here the filtering. That's controlled with our filter component right here. So we have 199, but it's filtered out 122. So I went ahead and I applied all these layer filters. And you can do that in a couple of different ways. You can wildcard them in, as I did with this right here for this one, or you can come in here and you can start picking these off. So you might see right here, like this building line. Well, we don't want to include that because we're really just trying to count, in this case, lengths of existing curb. Then we have a couple of options here. We'll go through that in a second, but it already comes all set to go. So I'm ready to go. I don't have to do anything else. I can just move on here and we come to the page 2 here. Let me back up here one other click. We can also use these controls up here for additional filtering. Again, we'll show you that here in a second. So as I hit next here, I get this report right here. So I have data to extract. So that's where these come from. So whatever you want to see up here, you'll pull from here. So in this case, we want 2D length and 3D length, however you do it. We have a number of other things, graphics, layers. We'll show some of that here in a second. Areas, as I said, we can get quantities for area calculations from those. Point reporting, northing, easting. So a lot of different stuff we can get here. But if this is what I'm doing, that's what I get. And you can add to these at any time to circumvent that template if you want to. So right now what this is doing, because I have it on, I'll back up one here. Because I have it on separate with summary right here, it's separating those, it's pulling those out, and it's giving me a summary with everything that's used survey figures for the curb. So as I go to next here and I open this up, you'll see everything is for a curb. Whoops, takes a couple seconds sometimes. So everything that's on this layer called this, it's giving me individual lengths. So I can pull all that and I put custom description in here to denote that it's existing curb. So as I go next here, I get to the final page. So then if I had a whole bunch of stuff in here, I could sort it here how I wanted it to fall in this list right here as it populates for creating a table or what have you. Then we have a couple of other options here. We can minimize the number of columns. We can preserve all columns. We can send it to an Excel, which we're going to do here. Or we can put it in a table, or we can do both. So a lot of different options to choose from right there. So once I have this, this is like my final check right here. So now I'm seeing what I'm going to get. So this last page, what you see here is what you're going to get. This is what your Excel or your table is going to look like. So you're going to get all of this stuff. So when I export to my Excel, I'm going to expect to get my total length and then each and every individual length of curb if I wanted to do that. And let me back up one here. So if I didn't want to include some of it, if I knew there was something I didn't want to see, like I'll just turn this one off, then I could exclude that just simply by clicking it right there. And if I go next right here, we'll see that that is no longer in the list. So I'm not going to get that one. So as I back up, I turn that one back on. I go next, and then I just say, because I already selected it right here, I'll show you where that lives. So I put them in here. Right here, they're in my demo folder. Again, you would probably want to put them somewhere centrally located. But I already have existing curb length selected. So I'm going to grab this right here. Tell it to save. It says it exists. Yeah, I'm going to overwrite, and I hit finish. I wouldn't have had to do that because it was already there. I could have just said finish. So I'm going to say yes to that right there, and it's going to automatically open up our Excel spreadsheet right here. So if we wanted to pick those out, if there was a number of other things you wanted to use, whatever, you would get that individual. And it's really just a sum up here, and then 2D length versus 3D length. That might be important. In some cases here, they match pretty much exactly. So if you were doing lengths of removals, you could pick through those or whatever. So that's a little bit about how to do that for the Excel. So we can do a number of other different things with this. So we did curb lengths. We could also do a full point report, as I mentioned before, if I needed to get some point data out of here, create a table for my points, my existing points. You could do it too if you had proposed points. In this case, we don't. Again, I'm going to pull this from a template, which is really the power of this. And I have this one right here, survey points. I called that combine. So again, when I open that and I go to my next tab, you see now it's populated survey points. And I called that combine because I did that right here, combine. So that does a little bit different thing than the separate. So this is going to show all the similar points and combine those. So when I say OK right here, if I hit refresh, there's 240 or 2,400 individual points, but it's filtered those to combine the ones that are the same. And then I can apply the same filtering right here if I wanted to do some weeding, for example, for trees or what have you. I could do that here. So as I go to the next page again, data to extract. So I already had this populated with things I wanted. So I might want a picture if it was a tree or catch basin or manhole. If I was creating a table from those, I would want to pull that in. Then I'm going to get the raw description, which gives me really what it is. And then I can pull the northern, eastern elevation of them, and it says it's 32 right there. So as I open this up, so I see I'm getting some storm manholes, some catch basins, some other catch basins here. So it's giving me individual counts of all of these. So now as I hit next right here, again, this is my last chance to change what I wanted about it right here. Here's what I would get when I'm creating a table. So let's just go ahead and export this to to an Excel. And if I wanted all of these points right here, I would get that here. Let's call it points all. Save that and then finish. So here's all the points, all the different trees. So we have of these 8-inch trees, there's 11 of them, 5-inch, 4 of those, and so on. Then the location of them. And from here, you could turn it into a CSV if you so chose. So I can also do that here, the same thing, and get all of the points out of there. And I could pull some other data from those. So it's going to remember what I did. I don't have to load a template again in this case. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit the separate items. And I'm going to say OK right here. And I'm going to hit refresh. And this is going to count all of the points. So I was expecting not to get that. Let's move on. So if I open this up now, what it's going to do is it's going to, in the background, it's going to find all of those points. Again, very similar to the one we did before. But this is all of the points that are in there that are on. So that's where this filtering I talked about up here comes into play. So I'm still only getting the 112 here. So those are all these other points that are hidden back here. We don't see those, but they're actually there. They're on frozen layers or locked layers at this point if I check those and those. So if I deselect these, now I'm going to get all of the points. So if I hit refresh here, right away you saw that went from 24. Now I'm not losing any. So if I go to next and I open this up, now what this is going to do is it's going to search the entire drawing, the frozen layers, everything. It doesn't need to be visible to get a report for those. It's going to take a few seconds here. It's doing a lot of work in the background, reaching out and looking at every single thing that is in there. For these 24 points, I timed it before. It takes right around 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds. And now we have every single point that's in there. So now if I go to next again, and if I come back in here and pick that all points all, I hit the save button. It's going to ask me, do I want to overwrite it? In this case, I do. Give me one last chance. And now it's going to go into the Excel sheet and put all of those points in there. So separate from using AutoCAD to export your points and however you would like to do that, if we have those here, if we don't have a point file, if they're just survey points like these are, we can do it this way. We have this progress bar down here too. That tells you where we're at in the process. Again, 2,400 points is a lot of points to get out of there. So as this finishes, I'm going to get the option to open it again, and we'll take a quick peek at that, and then we'll move on to some of the other functionalities. So now here's all of our points. Again, with our northing and easting, however we wanted to do this, we could do this, but then everything is there. I'll close that. We'll do this one more time. And we'll do if we just wanted trees, for example. So if I just wanted to get a tree count out of this, I go ahead, and I already made one here, so this is pretty simple. If you did this a lot, again, here's where the templates come into play. I'm going to go ahead and open that up, and I'm going to page through here. I'm going to hit my refresh, and now it's still read the same 2,400 points. This comes with the frozen, and all I'm getting is the 13. So again, if I wanted to free or exclude some of these, I could right here. I didn't necessarily need to, except in the case of those that are visible, which is why I did that, which are the sanitary stuff. Pretty much that's it. I think sanitary, that might be a sign in there. So if I go next, now I can just get a tree count. So here we have it. They're all separated. We know how many of each tree we have. If you wanted to make a custom description here to remove those trees, you could do that. So I could say remove right there if I wanted to do that in every column or every row. Once I type it once, it's there. So I don't have to go ahead and type that. I just hit my little pull down and pick it. So if I hit all these to remove, for instance, let's just say we don't want to remove those. I'll put salvage here. Not really salvage, but save. I'll change that to save. So let's say save, come here. And now, because I use both of those, they're both there. So I can say save. I can say, and that can be part of your template too. I can say next, and I already have that selected to go to the tree count. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it. I guess I don't have to pick it. I can just say finish, and it's going to overwrite. So now I have a tree report here. My custom description, for some reason, fell over there. I must have missed something in the setup, but so we have a report right here, which we can then make a table or a OLE and link it if we needed to. Then if something changes, if one of these goes away, we can just rerun it. Okay, so moving on. What else does it do? We did quantities, we showed that, and now we want to do legends. So this is just the same drawing with all the points turned on, and a little different look to it. But with this one, I've got my site plans ready to go right here. Okay, and I could have done it in the other one as well. So some of the things we can do with it, different ways the legends will look. So this is controlled on the final page. These are just a few I dumped in there to show some different ways we can create those. This is what I was talking about with the graphic. We'll take care of a couple of these in a second here. So those are all controlled by your table type. Right here, if I click on this, it's using this table style legend. Okay, and that's coming right from your annotate tab and your tables. So any tables that are here, you can use for creating these. So that's where that pulls from. So you have to have those created ahead of time. We don't create those, we just give you access to those to make these. But again, if you're using a good template, you'll always have that stuff. So how to speed up our legend creation, again, with our templates is very powerful. So I could do it without having this open. I could do it right from Model Space. I could make that in here. But just to show you how I have this right here. So I come and open my project suite back up, and I'm going to set up my table. And again, if this is a typical project you work on, and you can always tweak it, again, we can load our legend right here. So this is the one I'm going to use today. Whatever you want to call it, totally up to you. And already it comes to site plan 1. I'm going to tell it to limit to site plan 1. So that's my layout right there. If I had multiple viewports within here, I could pick those individually right here. I don't. I only have this one. So it's okay to use all the viewports. But if I wanted to pick it, I'd pick it right here. It populates this handle to recognize each viewport, and you can have as many viewports as you want to draw from. I'm going to go ahead and take that off and just use all viewports. And then if I have anything that's partially visible, say if this tree right here wasn't quite visible, or one of these hatchings, which we're going to include, wasn't quite visible, I would want to do that. If it was part off and I wouldn't, then I wouldn't select that. So let's go next, and here it again comes pre-populated. I'll hit my refresh button. We see what we're going to get. So we have one block. We have some hatches. Apparently no lines are going to come. I can turn that off. If you see things you don't want, you can go ahead and put those or turn those off like I just did right there. Always a good idea to hit your refresh button, come to next, and then we see what we're going to get. So this is some odd block. Sometimes you have those come with AutoCAD for whatever reason, some dirty drawing. So I'm not selecting that. I don't want that one. You saw it on the first page, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use these. I don't have any parcel segments, so I didn't need that. So I could actually turn that off right here too. Go next, and I won't need that. So we're ready to go right here. And the magic comes in the settings right here. So once I have all of this, and this will take a little bit of adjusting for you to make it fit how you want to work. So a little bit of tweaking to do here, but again, once you do that, you can save your template as however many times it takes you to do that, to get it how you want, and then save the template. It's just a matter of stepping through. So I'm pulling from, you saw those before. I'm going to use this Paperspace legend that I've already created. If you would like any of these, just let me know. I'll share them with you. Contact us. Any of these tables to make them work for you. As I hit finish right here, it's going to drop on the upper left corner is how this table has been created. And now we have our legend, and it's specific to this drawing. So this is what I'm getting. I notice I'm missing my trees. So I must have missed that in my initial setup. So let's go back to the table. So it won't overwrite this. I mean, it could. I think we could use the update table as I do that. No, I don't think that's the proper place for this, but let's go next. And then let me grab these points because that's what I missed. So 361, but I want to exclude the frozen. I'm going to click all of these. And let's do a refresh again. So 361. Not sure about that. Let's go to next. We see what we get here. So I'm getting all of these that I don't really want. I only want my trees. So I could do this a couple of different ways. I can uncheck all of them. Let me see what happened to the other ones up here. So I will need to check these again. Let's get those. Not that many. Get that one. Survey figures. I want that one and that one and that one. Then I'm just going to go pick my trees. I really only need one right here, I think. So let's hit finish, and I'll drop another one in right here to see what that looks like. So now we've got our trees right here. And if I wanted to add a count to it, I could. I guess I only got my deciduous. Let's add the conifers. Come back, see how quick we can correct things when we get there. I'm going to go next again. Now if I come back to my points, there should be some TRCs, I think, as we come down here. I guess there aren't. So, okay. Thought there were. Okay. Never mind. If I want to include the sign, I probably do want a sign, right? Let's go next, and then I'll just hit finish and drop it in here again. And now I can open this back up again. So I like the way this looks. I like this. This is going to work well for my next sheet layout right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this for the next time. I'm going to grab, it was this one. I'm just going to overwrite it. So now I can close it. It saved it. And I don't have to load it again, but the next time I come into a drawing, I'll be able to get at it. So I can just, on this one right here, I can just come in, go ahead and change what layout I'm going to include, and I can should be able to just pan right through here and finish. Whoa. Oh, I did something wrong. So I didn't want all that other stuff. And I got all of it. Oh, there's my conifers. Okay. So I really kind of screwed that up. That's okay. We saw how it worked. That bothers me. Let's see if we can fix that real quick. I didn't want this to go much more than a half hour, but let's go through and fix that. Something I missed going through here. Did it pick up a bunch of these? Yeah, see, got all that stuff. I don't want that. I don't know why it did that. Maybe I grabbed the wrong one to start with here. In fact, let's do this. Should be able to grab that one because I just made it. Let's open that instead. Go next. Next. Okay, that's closer to what I was wanting to see. Let me hit my finish. I'll drop it over here. There we go. Okay. Well, then I can just erase that and move it over. Now I should be able to do that same thing because this is the same drawing, right? This is nothing, come on, nothing different here. We've got this same site sheets right there. I come back to my setup table, site 1. Should have hung on to everything we had. There we go. Next, should be able to, oh, I am gonna have to, I thought I could do that. Hang on, I have to get back into my actual layout tab to do that. So let's go right through this. I can just click, click, click all the way through to get there. So next, should be able to finish and go right there. There we go. Okay. All right, well, that's really all I wanted to show you, some of the different settings to get at this stuff. Again, all comes from the setup table. Quick review on this, adding to, we'll change it to this. Go one more time, the review will add to this, this layout tab right here. Same thing, it's going to remember everything I had before. Remembers what you have. This is some of your filtering. This is some of the rest of your more powerful filtering, which we saw with the points. So a couple different ways to filter that. And then just step right through. Again, verify at the very end what you want to see. Hit finish. And we have it right there. So it excluded those layers that were, all those survey point layers that were frozen right there. That's what that was doing. Okay. So in conclusion, it's part of the SIM suite of tools. It does include a whole host of other time-saving tools. That's within our project suite. We also have our manager suite, which is more geared for template creation and CAD management type of stuff. If you don't have it, contact us here at CTC Software. We will help you out to get it. And if you are one of our users, thank you. And if you have any ideas or need any help, please contact us. All of our tools are created from ideas of yours for you to help you get through your design more efficiently. So with that, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it.